Welcome to Strip Talking, a podcast from stripwalking.com.
I don't understand this Whopper situation.
I did not eat tuna in college, despite my best efforts.
A branch of the Branch Davidians, David Cornish.
It's what brings fun to Vegas, math.
Usually that's one of the things that really comes naturally to you, is insulting me.
All right, Geoff, you're the podcast expert.
Spider pig, spider pig.
Nobody's going to care. Mom's not going to care. She's glad I'm hydrating.
Don't put words in his mouth. Put monster burgers in his mouth.
We can still be friends.
I don't think so.
I don't know that I'll respect you as much.
I don't know that we can respect him at all.
Take your ketchup meat back.
In this episode, the guys interview Optimus Prime. Mike wants to get sued by Taylor Swift. New strip-talking Food Hall of Fame inductions. Gen Z Storytime reflects on the rescue of baby Jessica. Mike loves Long John Silver's. And the guys compare Johnsons.
Here are your hosts, and maybe.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Strip Talking Podcast, brought to you by stripwalking.com. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Jay, as you know. I have Geoff with a G here with us tonight. Geoff, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Jay. Very excited for this week's podcast. As most of you know, our one and only Mike was recently at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, and he made contact with someone that he's a big movie star. Yes, he is. Has a new movie coming out here before too long. Do we want to go ahead and introduce him now, or should we wait for just a little bit?
Well, I'm not sure when he's going to be joining the Zoom, but we can tell the listeners who it is. It's Optimus Prime.
The Optimus
The
Prime.
one and only.
The Optimus Prime.
Yes.
Star of the upcoming movie Transformers 1, which is apparently the first Transformers movie they've done because it's Transformers 1.
I'm sure they've already made some.
No, I don't think so. It's the first one, Jay.
Okay, that makes sense.
It would be 2 or 3 or 4 if it was the second or third or fourth one.
Have they thought about putting Megan Fox in them?
That's a good idea.
I don't know. I would if I were them.
Yeah.
Might make the franchise.
Maybe like 15 years ago they should have. Has she had a kid?
I think she has 2 kids.
3, actually.
Wow.
She was married to that dude from 90210.
Brian Austin Green.
Yeah, that's the one.
David Silver.
Did you really know his 90210 name?
Who doesn't, Geoff?
I'm going to raise my hand because I didn't know what his name was on 90210.
Don't pretend like you didn't watch it, Geoff.
I only watch manly shows like Dawson's Creek and stuff like that.
Did you watch Dawson's Creek?
No, I didn't. I did watch 90210 when Tiffany Thiessen was on there. I had a major thing for her from Saved by the Bell, and then she shows up on 90210, and I'm like, okay, I can watch this show for a bit.
Yeah, she is still gorgeous to this day.
I agree.
You're going to make Paige Sporonic jealous, Geoff.
Paige and I had a falling out, so I guess that is what it is. Shocking, I know.
So no more Make-A-Wish? Or she made a wish for you to disappear? She 86'd you.
I wonder if Optimus Prime would really like Megan Fox to be in the movie.
I don't know. We should ask him that when he shows up. I've got a list of questions. You guys got?
I do have a few questions, mostly Megan Fox related, though.
Yeah. Yeah. The first movie, I think, was about, 2006?
2007.
But anyway, so at what point do you think that Optimus will be joining us? Is he going to call in, or how is he going to get in
well,
contact?
He's a big movie star, so you kind of just are on his schedule.
All right, so we just let him.
Anytime, hopefully, but when he shows up, he shows up.
He's aware of the size of our podcast, though, too, right? Pretty big deal.
I may have told them we have millions of listeners and that Taylor Swift listens to our podcast
That's true.
and occasionally comes on it.
She was showing up nice at the Chiefs game this last weekend.
Yes, I said comes on it.
I noticed you said that, but I'm like, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Eventually, somebody from her entourage is going to stumble across this shitty little podcast and sue us into oblivion.
We'd have her autograph then.
It won't be the first time we've gotten a cease and desist order.
No, publicity is bad publicity. Publicity. That is true. You know, if we got sued by her, I think we'd be big time at that point, wouldn't
Big
we?
time. That we would know we've made it. Yep.
I mean, we would be all over the news.
It's a big deal.
Let's shoot for that.
Okay. I assume she has more lawyers than we do, so we'll probably lose.
Well, yeah,
But it's the journey, not the destination.
what's she going to get from us? Not much.
I mean, if she took over the entire podcast, it would end up costing her a little bit of money.
She might get your deck.
Yeah. Is that associated to the podcast? It seems like we should be in an LLC here.
Oh, well, yeah. As far as the listeners know, yeah, it's totally an LLC.
Totally.
So, are we going to have another no eat challenge? And is Geoff going to be involved this time since he seems to think he can beat both of us?
Well, I will admit I didn't have a lot of fun with the first one, but maybe fun wasn't the goal.
I don't think it was.
What was the goal?
Let me think. I don't know what the goal was.
Yeah. Okay. So the spirit of competition, maybe?
Winning is always the goal.
Yeah. I do feel as though we should be working toward a goal of something.
Maybe we should raise money for like a charity.
Okay. Like the Save Megan Fox Foundation?
I was thinking we could raise awareness for people working from home.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Since you work from home, Jay.
Yeah, that is true. I'm not sure the benefit of raising awareness there would really shine through.
There's a lot
Like, can we do cancer?
There's a lot of people still working from home.
Sure. For many industries, it works quite well.
But it's not as easy as people think, right?
No, it's not. Everybody thinks it's a walk in the park, but it is quite an adjustment from the office life, let's say.
Life can be difficult when you order something and you are always home to sign for it.
True.
Or when you don't have to take off a half day of work for some repairman to show up.
Yeah, but I'm kind of a do-it-myself sort of guy, so I fix all my own things. I did replace my water heater not that long ago. It was like a 4-beer job is all. It's pretty easy.
Or maybe you're tired and you just can take a nap whenever you want.
Well, I do believe that is maybe a slight misconception about the work from home life because work still exists and meetings still happen, phone calls, chat rooms.
You can take a poop in your own toilet without your coworkers hearing you.
That is a benefit. I will agree with that. Home field advantage in that respect is nice. There's not zero chance they'll hear you, but it is pretty low.
Okay, but there's zero chance they'll smell you.
That is true. Zero chance. That is correct. I'll give you that. An experienced work from home person, they wouldn't hear you either. It's all about the headset muting, the mute button.
What about an inexperienced person?
I mean, we've all seen the videos from early COVID where people were trying to figure out Zoom calls or whatever it was back then, WebExes or something. Should have put a lot more money in Zoom stock at the start of COVID, but anyway, different story. People not realizing they have their camera on, things like that. From those early COVID days, those are pretty funny videos.
Those are. I think those are enjoyable.
Yeah, they're hilarious. I really only did that once. Had my camera on and didn't know it, and my hair was a bit messy, which bothers me to this day. It's been several years ago, but other than that, it was pretty tame.
Wow. We definitely need to raise awareness for you.
Well, can we do like cancer or something? Like that seems more worthy.
More noble.
Oh, I think it's people working from home.
Okay,
It is the people working from home challenge, like the ice bucket challenge. Remember that?
I do. Yep, I do remember that. But even that was for some proper charity, Parkinson's or Lou Gehrig's disease or something, whatever that was for. I don't remember now.
ALS. It was ALS, wasn't it?
Yeah, ALS. That's what it was. Yeah.
I mean, your muscles can shrink from just sitting around all the time.
There is a large risk of sedimentary lifestyle effects from working at home, yes.
Of course, I just sit at home or sit around all the time at work, so I guess it's
True.
pretty much the same thing.
But at least you walk to your car every now and then, at least twice a day.
Yes, twice a day.
Yeah.
Had to count.
The whole ALS, funny that came up, the whole ALS ice bucket challenge. I had a memory pop up on Facebook about how during that ALS ice bucket challenge, one of my daughters, who was much younger at the time, had decided that she was going to chase one of our cats with a bucket of ice water and was dumping it on her cat. So that was pretty funny.
I bet it deserved it.
It's a cat.
Damn cats. Before we started this podcast, I just sat here and watched your cat just walk up to your microphone and just shove it over for no reason.
Exactly.
Dick cat.
They're like that.
Remember that cat that my wife had? Princess?
I do remember that cat.
That thing used to pee in the closet just to spite me. And there's nothing worse than cat pee. The smell of it.
It has a very distinct smell.
Do you think that when that cat was peeing in the corner, it was thinking of you?
Oh, definitely. It was trying to get revenge for me drop kicking it.
I suppose that would probably be some revenge that might have been justified in some situations. Although, I don't know. Sometimes cats, they just like to be assholes, don't they?
They are. That's why dogs are so great. They're just loyal, love me. What can I do to please you?
I do enjoy dogs. And I know this is completely off any topic that we had never planned to get on the podcast, but dogs are better than cats. I would agree 100%.
What topics did we have planned, Geoff?
That's what I said. I don't know that we had any topics planned, as is evidenced by the flow of the podcast, but I also didn't ever envision us getting into which animal is a better pet. Let's put it that way.
I think we all know the answer to that. I think all 6 of our listeners know that too. All the Greeks. You missed out on the Greek conversation, Geoff.
Oh, man.
We're consistently in the top 150 in the travel and something rankings for Apple Podcasts in Greece.
Oh, well, that's
So
something.
So, while we're talking about it,
Ευχαριστούμε όλους τους Έλληνες φιλάθλους μας.
that is thank you to our Greek friends in Greek. We should probably play this every podcast, maybe 2 or 3 times.
Ευχαριστούμε όλους τους Έλληνες φιλάθλους μας.
It seems like a lot of words to say thank you.
Are you questioning whether it's legit, Geoff?
No, I'm not. I'm not questioning it at all. It just seems like that is a lot of words to say thank you.
Ευχαριστούμε όλους τους Έλληνες φιλάθλους μας.
Ευχαριστούμε more. Yeah, this is good content right here.
This is gold.
All right, I'm gonna go get a beer, take a piss.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Just continue the podcast without me.
And actually, right as Mike steps away, I see someone trying to join our podcast here.
Oh.
Greetings, humans. I am Optimus Prime, and I've come to pretty much waste my time on your podcast.
Well, at least you know what you're in for.
I was told Taylor Swift would be on this podcast.
Not this week. Not this week. Let's kick things off with the important stuff. Optimus, we saw the first Transformers movie back in 2007. But honestly, we're not big on the whole franchise. What we do remember, though, is Megan Fox. And we were all huge fans of her talents. What was it like working with her?
Ah, yes, Megan Fox, a talented actress. Very, very, very talented. Though I suspect you are more interested in other attributes or talents.
You could say that. You could say that. Let's just say when she was bending over that car hood, I had a hard time focusing on the plot. And Geoff, you were practically drooling.
I wasn't drilling, just appreciating the cinematography.
Cinematography, Geoff? Is that what humans call it when they stare at female body parts for an extended period of time?
Oh, Optimus, you know us too well. But seriously, let's be real. Megan Fox was the best part of that movie. We're pretty sure you'd agree with that. She could have taken down Megatron just by walking into the battlefield.
Indeed, Megan Fox's attributes were formidable. Geoff, is that your primitive telephone technology I hear?
It is. It's phoning a friend. Sorry. We're almost done. It'll kick off.
We do not accept refills over the phone.
Okay. All right. It's done. So, Optimus, obviously we've discussed Megan Fox, but what can you tell us about the new Transformers 1 movie? We are totally psyched and up to date on what that movie is about.
There has to be more robot action. Or maybe Megan Fox cameos? Or is it just 2 hours of you and Megatron measuring dicks?
Measuring dicks. Interesting. If only Megatron possessed the equipment necessary for such comparisons. As for Transformers 1, it is an origin story detailing the early days of the Autobots and Decepticons.
So no dick measuring, but plenty of metal on metal action. Got it.
Did you seriously just ask Optimus Prime if he and Megatron were measuring dicks?
We've all wondered how they transform like that. Speaking of transformations, Geoff, tell Optimus about your GoBots collection as a kid. You know, the knockoff Transformers.
They weren't knockoffs. I don't know if they were better. Yeah, they were better than Transformers.
Ah, yes, the GoBots. A pale imitation of true Cybertronian technology. Geoff, were you too poor to afford the real thing?
I just think the GoBots were a superior toy. You could compare it to the whole Betamax versus VHS discussion.
That's a shame, Geoff. I'm sure if you had proper Autobots, you might have turned out better.
Your childhood must have been sad. Sitting there with your GoBots, wondering why they weren't as cool as Transformers. It's maybe why you have bad taste now. With the whole cheese thing.
Yes, Geoff, I've heard you do not like cheese. You truly are a disappointment.
Oh, come on. I like cheese. Just not on a Whopper, for fuck's sake.
Your refusal to accept cheese, Geoff, is yet another indication that you are malfunctioning. Perhaps we should have Ratchet perform diagnostics on you.
You likely need a software upgrade. One that makes you show up on time for the podcast. Maybe get some real internet while you're at it.
Indeed, Geoff, your internet connection is as unreliable as your podcast attendance.
My Wi-Fi's not that bad.
You've frozen on my screen for like half this recording. And when you're not frozen, you sound like a robot choking on a bag of dicks.
Perhaps Geoff is attempting to imitate my voice. Very poorly, I might add.
Your internet is pretty bad, though. It makes dial-up look like light speed. You've dropped off more times than Mike's tried to leave this podcast.
It is difficult to comprehend how one can live in the digital age and yet possess such primitive technology. Have you considered upgrading from your corn-based router, Geoff?
Yeah, maybe you could get one of those GoBot internet connections. The knockoff version that barely works.
Let's just move on.
Sure, but only if you admit Megan Fox is the true star of Transformers and that cheese is right.
Yes, Geoff, embrace the cheese. And Megan Fox. They're pillars of human achievement.
Cheese is okay, and Megan Fox is and was definitely hot.
How about Megan Fox covered in cheese? The whole pillars, them cheese and Megan Fox being pillars of human achievement, that's a pretty deep concept, actually. I agree with that 100%. Anyway, Optimus, thank you for joining us here today.
The pleasure was mine, Jay and Geoff, with a G. May your internet speed be as fast as your ability to avoid cheese. Autobots, roll out.
Well, thank you, Optimus, for stopping by. We appreciate your time that you donated to this podcast.
I think he's gone.
Is he still there? Optimus? Oh, well, he must have disconnected. The signal must have
Sorry,
gone out.
sorry, guys. I ended up having to take a Mondo Duke.
Mondo. Is that any different than your normal one?
It wasn't a record breaker, but it was a good one. I had to hurry back, though, because I'm excited to talk to Optimus.
Oh, do you want to break the news to him, Jay?
What? Don't tell me you already called.
Yeah, he did.
What?
Yeah, I'm sorry. He was here and he
You
had
couldn't
more
keep him on
important
the
things
line
to
until
do.
I got back?
No. He had to go back
He's
to
on
Cybertron.
a busy schedule.
Was he a cool robot dude?
Yes, he was a cool robot.
Is Big O Tires a sexual reference?
Interesting question.
Just something I was thinking about today.
I'll never drive by their sign the same again. Tell you that.
I never thought about it till today. But did whoever thought of Big O Tires, were they thinking Big O? Like snickering and saying Big O?
Because tires are kind of O-shaped, but I see where you're going. I'd like to think that crossed their mind at some point, at least.
Like it works on several levels.
Yeah.
What do you think, Geoff?
I think that the double entendre that you've pointed out there is very very possible. However, there's part of me that says that you can make a sexual reference out of any name that you throw out there. But that one does tend to be a little more obvious now that you pointed it out.
That sounds like a challenge.
I don't think you can, Geoff.
Okay.
Some are easier than others.
J.C. Penney.
Panda Express.
McDonald's.
Dairy Queen kind of writes itself.
Although I have heard McDonald's shortened to McDicks, so
Pep Boys.
Pep Boys.
Jiffy Lube. Okay, actually that one's pretty easy.
Yeah, that's an awesome easy one. That's the best one so far, actually. Office Max.
Long John Silver's.
Can I induct something tonight? Food Hall of Fame.
Food Hall of Fame. That's
a perfect seg into my induction.
Okay, let's induct it. What you got?
We'll allow it.
Did have one lined up that's going to be a bit controversial to certain fast food snobs that are in the middle of my screen right now.
To the left of my screen, actually.
I was going to say you are in the middle of my screen, so.
Well, I am absolutely a fast food snob. I am going to induct Long John Silver's batter.
just the batter.
Well, I mean, the batter goes on
Well,
the
it's
chicken,
the same
the
batter
fish.
for everything.
Yeah, every single food item has it. They put it on the onion rings, the French fries. They put it on everything.
I applaud it because I freaking love Long John Silver's. I know that it's a colon blow, but I do enjoy it.
You're a good man.
I've made no secrets that I am not a Long John Silver's fan. I just had a colonoscopy. I don't want to clean myself out for another one right away by eating there.
Okay, but that doesn't affect the taste. If you shit it all out afterwards, it could still be good going down, right?
Good point. Good point.
So do you not like the taste of it, or do you just not like the results after?
It definitely does taste like they use the same batter for everything. And by same, I mean literally the same jug of it. Like they're dipping fish and chicken and fries and hush puppies all in the same container. But that's a different topic. I would agree it tastes good going down. Yes.
So it's Hall of Fame worthy then.
I'm not going to argue with you. I like Long Johns.
When I started dating my wife, who is from the South and had recently arrived here when I dated her from the South, she thought Long John Silver's was kind of a trashy place to go to, which I find incredibly ironic because she's from the South.
We have listeners in the South now. Don't make any judgments.
I don't think we do. Maybe we do. She doesn't listen. We've established that. Geoff would be in big trouble if she listened. I did find that rather amusing, though, that she thought really any restaurant was trashy. I'm not going to say any more because we might have a Southern listener someday. So, or she might listen to this.
I've always found Long John to be like just very sticky inside. Like everything's greasy. The whole place is greasy.
That's part of the charm.
The floor, the booths.
Boobs. If we ever get to the point where we do a live show, that's where we're doing it from, is Long John Silver's.
Okay. I don't know that we're live show worthy yet.
No, I said if we get to that point.
Okay,
We're definitely not there yet.
Okay.
In 10 years, if we get to like 100 listeners, then we'll do a live show.
I'll allow that. I like that idea. From Long John Silver's, though.
Yeah, it's got to be on location.
The greasiest Long John Silver's we can find.
You mean we got to try more than one to figure it out?
Yeah, it'll still have better Wi-Fi than Geoff.
Okay. Can you just tell me where to show up so I don't have to eat at more than one?
I think we should go there tomorrow. We should all have lunch there.
Sounds pretty good to me right now.
I'm probably busy whatever day you want to go.
Have you ever taken your kids to Long John? Have they not ever eaten there?
I bet probably not.
You're a horrible father.
I was thinking the same thing.
Well, I think we all knew that, but
You should be thrown in jail.
I'm trying to think. I certainly don't remember ever taking them there, no. I myself haven't been there for 20 years, like I said, but
We should go there for the podcast.
you let me know the day and I'll schedule a meeting that I have to be at during that time.
Let's go tomorrow.
So since Mike has inducted his choice of food into the Hall of Fame tonight, I did have one to induct. A couple weeks ago, I was in Omaha over the weekend, and I went to a restaurant in the old market of Omaha, downtown Omaha, called Taphouse. And I've been there multiple times, but this time they had redone their menu. And one of the new food items on there that I thought I wanted to try was called a pork belly grilled cheese sandwich. And so it was fried pork belly with two different types of cheese and a hot pepper jelly and I don't even remember what type of bread it was. It was fantastic. I love grilled cheese anyway, but the addition of the pork belly, it almost was like a meatier bacon from a taste standpoint, combined with the sweet hot pepper jelly. and the grilled cheese, the cheese. I've been informed on this podcast before that cheese is essential to a good sandwich. And and so I would like to induct the Taphouse pork belly grilled cheese sandwich into the strip walking food hall of fame. I think I would say of the three of us, Mike is probably the least adventurous when it comes to food. But I think he would even enjoy this because it is there's something about it. It just all works really well together. I think you like grilled cheese sandwiches, don't you, Mike?
The only thing you're scaring me with is hot.
It's not like super hot. I'm not talking like burn your tongue kind of. It's more of just you get a taste of heat. And then the sweet from the jelly part of it, and then it just really works. I don't.
It's not Hattie B's hot.
No. It's not that hot. No, I'm talking like, what would be a good comparison?
Kirsten Dunst.
Yes, Kirsten Dunst on a sandwich.
Gotcha. I totally understand now. Is it Kirsten or Kirsten?
I think it's whatever you want to say.
I think it's Kirsten.
Anyway, so Geoff's induction is Taphouse. We think Taphouse is just in Omaha, although I feel like it's a chain.
I believe it. Well, from what I know, there are a couple of them in Omaha, but I could have to do some looking. But it is definitely worth the trip. They also have, this is something also, Mike, that maybe I should have included in there. They have the best cheese curds I've ever had. They have smoked Gouda cheese curds that are about, I don't know, they're probably 1.5 by 1.5 square. And they have a smoky dipping sauce that you go into. They're fantastic.
That sounds pretty big, 1.5.
It's bigger than I want to put in my mouth.
What were the two kinds of cheese on the sandwich?
I think it was gush. I think it was
I'm familiar with that cheese.
I think it was a cheddar, and it wasn't a Swiss. I think it might have been a Gouda. I would have to look. One was more of a whiter cheese. I think it was a Gouda and a cheddar, but it was fantastic.
You racist fuck.
I'm just saying, I did pull apart the sandwich to look at the makings of it. But yeah.
You deconstructed it?
I did deconstruct it. Actually, I should send you. I took a picture of it. I'll have to send you both a text of the picture.
Well, yes, because I'm going to post it on the website, stripwalking.com/food.
Well, there you go.
Looks pretty good. Except it's cheddar. Weren't you two snobs turning up your nose at cheddar cheese one of the last podcasts?
At cheddar cheese? No way.
Yes, you were.
Cheddar's great.
Don't say cheddar. Don't say cheddar. Don't say cheddar.
That is not what I said. I said don't say Everlong when we were talking about Foo Fighters songs.
No. Any of these podcasts that I edited, I remember every minute of them.
I do think that Mike is correct that you did say don't say cheddar, don't say cheddar, don't say cheddar. We're talking about the best cheeses out there.
Yeah.
It must have been something specific. There's nothing wrong with cheddar.
It was the best cheese. It was a points to ponder. At that time called a rapid fire question. And when it came to me, you assumed I was going to say cheddar.
Right. Which you did.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
Maybe I did.
That was the introduction of Drunk Jay.
That episode?
Do you even listen to our podcast?
Religiously.
Geoff, do you remember the part where he says a 2x4?
I do kind of remember that. That you could put cheese on a 2x4.
Yeah, he doesn't remember that.
He doesn't remember that?
It was probably Drunk Jay.
It was Drunk Jay.
I've only had 2 tonight. Remember all of this one. The pork belly's not as fatty as I assumed.
No. And you know what? I assumed it would be too, but it seriously was like a thick, super thick cut bacon is what. But I mean, it was pork belly because it is a fat. I mean, it definitely is a fatter cut of meat.
You dip that pork in
there was a shitload of it on the sandwich.
You dip that pork in Long John Silver's batter, you'd have something.
You know what you'd have? You'd have pork belly that tastes exactly like fish, chicken, shrimp, and anything else from the restaurant.
Hush puppies and French fries.
That'd be fucking delicious. We gotta go. We gotta go tomorrow. Let's go tomorrow.
Let me check my meetings.
No, actually, let's go Wednesday. Let's take your girls.
Well, they'll be in school.
Let's take them out of school. It's like
No.
goddamn travesty that they have never been to Long John Silver's.
There's education, and then there's real life experiences. You cannot pass up real life experiences.
You have failed them, Jay. This is worse than that time you went and played pickleball during their concert.
I won that night. Anyway, Wednesday. If we go like 11:30, I could go.
Done.
A little bit before noon. Which you would think the batter would be fresher. They haven't dipped a bunch of stuff in it yet.
Be the freshest batter you've ever tasted.
Wrong.
Or they're just using up the day before's batter at that time.
Shut up, Geoff. Do you want them to go or not?
Doesn't matter. It all tastes good to me. So we actually inducted two new things into the
That's
Hall of
pretty
Fame
good.
tonight, right?
Yeah. That could lead into a point to ponder that I have, if we want to jump there.
No, we still have another segment, Gen Z Storytime, which is when we discuss a topic that Gen Z may not be familiar with because it happened before they were alive. Something from the 80s or 90s, maybe even early 2000s.
And a good time for us to reminisce.
Just doing our part to educate the younger generation. And yes, really, it's time for us to reminisce.
Yeah, reminisce about better days.
What's the topic this week, Geoff?
I believe the topic that we were going to talk about tonight was when baby Jessica in Texas, if I remember correctly,
That's correct.
fell down a small pipe in her backyard, if I remember
Midland,
right.
Texas.
Midland, Texas?
Jessica McClure.
Baby Jessica. October 14th, 1987. And as a generalization, kids fall in holes all the time, I'm sure, but this one had such crazy media coverage, much like OJ trial that we talked about last time. It was the media coverage that made it crazy. The soap opera-ness of it, and the whole world had baby Jessica fever.
Well, it was broadcast live though. So one of the things when we were researching was she has no recollection of it. Obviously, she was like 18 months old.
Yeah, super young.
This is right on the edge of my recollection. I would have been like 11, 10. But I do remember sitting there watching it on TV with my family.
Yeah.
And it was the very first reality TV, you might say.
It kind of was. That's a good point. Because you didn't know what was going to happen.
From what I remember, didn't she? So this pipe was like an 8-inch pipe. It was a small pipe.
8 inches, that's correct.
And somehow she fell. If I remember right, she fell down this pipe and one leg was like, she was almost like in a split position. And she was how far down this pipe? It was a significant distance down the pipe. It's like, how the hell did she get down there?
22 feet down, which is like 2 stories down. Yeah.
How is it 18 months she was? How's she just wandering around the yard by herself?
Different time. It was a different time. In those days, our parents didn't care.
I mean, she could have gotten swallowed by a rattlesnake.
In Texas, yeah.
Definitely.
Probably thinking, what is the worst thing that can happen to this little girl roaming around in her backyard? It's certainly not falling 22 feet down an 8-inch pipe.
If there's an 8-inch pipe in my backyard, I'm thinking my kid's going to fall down it. Fucking idiots. No offense.
No, none taken, I'm sure, by them. Because they had to have had that question before. Like, what in the world?
Once or twice, yeah.
What in the world did you have an open well in your backyard?
But it's Texas.
It's Texas, yeah. It was probably like an oil.
Once again, it's the South. They got Long John Silver's and open wells down there.
So here's what I recall from the whole rescue thing. Obviously, they couldn't go down the pipe itself because it was just. I think there was concern if they went down there and tried to just pull her out that they would tear an appendage off. I mean, seriously, if I remember right.
And they couldn't find anybody that was only 8 inches around.
Did they try to hook her with a fishing line? Did anybody try that?
I think they did, but they were concerned that they would harm her even more by trying to pull her out that way.
They did end up drilling like a parallel shaft,
which wasn't that big. I think I saw something like, didn't the guy break his collarbone
or something? Yeah.
Squeezing down in there, which kind of terrifies me even more because I get claustrophobic. So that would be just awful to be that guy. I would not be able to do that.
Yeah. No, that'd be tough.
She came out just with a few scratches, I think, is all. No broken bones, I don't think.
No, I just looked it up. The guy that went down there, Ron Short was his name. He had been born without a collarbone.
Oh, that's it. That's it. Yeah.
So he could like squeeze his shoulders together.
Because the hole was so small, though.
Right.
Why couldn't they just dig a bigger hole?
Well, I think it was like super rocky and like tough to dig through because they had jackhammers and stuff.
It's Texas.
20 feet down isn't probably even close to getting to the depth of the well. So, I mean, if I remember right, there was some concern that if they drilled that parallel shaft to it too close, that they would make her fall further down into the well.
Couldn't they just put a really big vacuum on the top of it? Just suck her up?
Not the worst idea.
Some gigantic forceps like the OBGYNs use. Just reach down in there.
How many hours did it take to get her out, or days?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like if I was in charge, it would have taken half that time.
Surely it says on here. Hold on.
Also, if I was in charge, she might have died.
58.5 hours.
58?
Yep, so more than 2 days. Yep.
So how did she get water?
She would have totally won the no eating contest.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But wouldn't she have almost been dying from dehydration?
Yeah, they had to get her water somehow, surely. They had to amputate a toe.
After the fact?
After the fact, yes. And she has a scar on her forehead to this day.
Fascinating.
They had to get her water somehow. Very long straw. Like a 22-foot long straw, probably.
They have those in Texas, but they don't have equipment that can cut a bigger hole.
That's a crazy story. How
far are they from the Mexican border? How many tunnels are dug under the border?
Yeah, like you said earlier, Mike, it's like the first reality TV. That's what made the OJ thing so crazy. That's what made this so crazy, is just the coverage of it.
That was 1987, right?
Yes.
So that would have been after the Challenger.
Yep.
So we were already desensitized to it. We had all watched 6 people blow up in a space vehicle in our classrooms a year before.
Yeah, 6 or 7. 7 crew members.
I just always remember my dad going around telling this terrible joke. What was it Cindy? What was the teacher's name?
I was just going to ask you, do you know what the teacher's name was? I do remember.
What was her name?
Krista McAuliffe.
So he'd go, you know how they knew Krista's eyes were blue?
No.
Because one blew to the left and one blew to the right.
Oh my God.
Yowza.
And that wasn't 30, 40 years later. That was like weeks later he was telling that.
Too soon?
Holy cow. No, that's definitely another event of that time that defined all of us of our age, I suppose.
I remember that one better than the well one. I remember I was in 6th grade.
Yeah.
I can picture the classroom and sitting there watching it on TV.
Yeah, the little TV on on the stand that they
On
rolled
the
in
roll. Yep.
there. Yep. That's the way we were watching it too.
I think it was Netflix had a documentary on it not that long ago. I never realized until watching that documentary how many people really just fucked them.
Yeah.
Like they had no business launching that day. I didn't realize it was like 30 degrees in Florida.
Record low temperatures. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the rubber O-rings are what eventually caused it, which were
Everything fucking shrinks when it gets cold. Duh.
exactly. As men, we know that.
And it was all men making the decisions
Probably
in the 80s.
in the 80s, definitely.
Yeah.
That's true. Different time.
All right, Gen Zers.
For those that don't remember Baby Jessica, Google it. There's probably videos out there somewhere.
In our research, we learned that the well was capped, but we can't figure out if you can visit it.
Right.
We'd like to visit it. I'd like to visit it.
I would love to visit it.
Take a picture by it.
Yeah. Throw something down it. Throw rocks down the well. That's the best part of a well. You can throw stuff down it.
Well, it's been capped.
I think you probably unscrew it or something. You probably unscrew it.
Put a baby doll down there and freak out and be like, "Oh my god, my baby fell down the well."
It's like a prescription vial. It's got child resistant locks on it.
You could never open this thing.
Yeah, Gen Zers looked that baby up. It was quite an event.
Of course, they probably, with everything being videoed and on TV, probably don't appreciate how remarkable it was at that time to watch it play out live.
Yeah, agreed.
Everything plays out live now. Man, we sound old.
Yeah, we do. The craziness of it live is you didn't know how it was going to end. Like, it could have been real bad. Like, they could have pulled a dead kid out of that well on live TV, and that'd have been...
I bet the TV execs were rooting for that.
Oh, I don't know about rooting, but it crossed their mind. You know it crossed their mind.
At least one of them was.
Probably Fox. Wait, Fox didn't probably even exist.
I was going to say Fox didn't exist then, I don't think.
No, probably not. Probably NBC. I have no idea.
All right, let's get into points to ponder.
This is Optimus Prime, and you're listening to the Strip Talking Points to Ponder.
Got into the food topics a little bit tonight, so I'm trying to decide how to phrase this.
Is Geoff frozen or just taking it all in?
I think he's taking it all in.
I think he's kind of frozen.
I'm just taking it all in.
We got into the food stuff a little bit tonight, so I'm going to tack onto that. Best, I don't want to say best. I want to say most influential celebrity chef.
I'm going to go first on that one. I'm going first. I think, to me, the most influential, just because he was one of the first ones to really blend his personality with kind of higher end food, is Emeril Lagasse. I think he was one of the first ones to really put chefs like that on the map.
Yes, agreed. He was very popular. Live studio audience.
Had his own catchphrase.
Bam!
Bam!
I think you want me to get deep on this, but I think it's Gordon Ramsay.
Okay.
I don't think there's anybody bigger than Gordon Ramsay at this point.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe Guy Fieri.
I would say Gordon's still bigger. Like, if you think of all the different shows that Gordon Ramsay's had.
Right. So that Hell's Kitchen show started in what, like 2005?
Yeah.
It's still going.
Still going. Still a great show, too. Yep. Hell's Kitchen. You remember the F Word? That was one of his first ever shows.
I thought Hell's Kitchen was.
His first show? No, Nope, he's had many before that.
It's the first one I ever watched. But I'm not a big Food Network or Food Channel guy.
But even like Kitchen Nightmares, things like that, all those kind of shows. He's got a bunch of different shows.
And look how many restaurants he has on the Strip.
Yeah, true.
And they're putting one in on the Flamingo now? Is that one's going in. Did I see that?
Yep. It's another burger, Gordon Ramsay burger.
Okay. I accept both those answers. My answer is Anthony Bourdain because he was a little different. He was a different celebrity chef. More travel-y, more weird stuff, a little more poetic, I guess, in his writings and even in his shows. For me, it was Anthony Bourdain. Rest in peace.
I was going to say, is he the one that died?
Yeah. Suicide. Yeah. Super sad.
Just as a side note on this, I was really into the Food Network. It started when Emerald was really
Bam.
I really liked Bobby Flay when he was up and coming. But as he's been around more, there's more talk of how he's not really a very nice guy to begin with, which doesn't necessarily mean he's not influential or a good chef. But it seems like his popularity has waned quicker than what I would say like your Gordon Ramsay and those things, would have done. So
even on his shows, though, he seems like kind of an ass. Like not the kind of guy you'd hang out with. I don't know. I doubt that Gordon Ramsay would hang out with me anyway, but
By all accounts, Gordon Ramsay's a super nice dude. The whole show thing's an act.
yeah, the super mean.
I have heard that as well.
Grumpy guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can believe that.
Did you know Anthony Bourdain's eyes were blue?
That is not how he committed suicide.
Too soon.
Too soon.
Too soon. Too soon. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Anthony Bourdain.
What's your point to ponder, Mike?
Best Johnson. Person named Johnson.
Right.
Favorite?
Best.
There are a lot of Johnsons.
All right, so I'm going to go with it's probably the most obvious, and it won't surprise Mike at all. But I'm going to go with Irvin Magic Johnson. He was a pioneer in the NBA world.
Interesting. Okay.
Even though he was a Laker, I know he wasn't a Celtic.
And we can't say Johnson & Johnson like the pharmaceutical company, right?
I don't know why you'd want to.
They make a lot of the products that we use every day.
Because there's two of them.
And there's two of them.
I guess you can.
Look around your house. How many Johnson & Johnson products are in there? You can see 10 probably just sitting right where you are.
I don't see any.
Well, his bed's right behind there, so there's sure to be some baby lotion around.
That's not my bed. That's the guest bed.
Bam!
Bam.
Yes. Yeah. Pull the emerald next time. I am gonna go Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
That's what I was gonna go.
Really? Okay.
We were both going with a bigger Johnson than Geoff's. So I guess you got it right, Jay.
I think The Rock deserves it. He's hilarious. He's in funny movies.
He seems like he'd be a really fun dude to hang out with.
Yeah. We had a question many episodes ago who you would hang out with in Vegas, and I said Snoop Dogg, which I stand by that answer. But Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, that's a close second.
I think you'd hang out with him in Hawaii. He apparently goes to Kauai a lot, according to some of the people we spoke to in Kauai when I was there.
Yeah, I've been there as well. It's beautiful.
We rode on the train that was used in Jungle Cruise.
I think it'd be fun to hang out with him and Kevin Hart together. Those two seem to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, they've done a lot of stuff together.
He is not a Johnson, though.
No, he's not. No.
I'm not going to make any. I was going to make some sort of Black Johnson joke, but after the best Johnson question, we have what is the best nuts?
Cashews.
Technically, cashews are not nuts. If you want, I don't want to get technical here.
They're nuts.
but they're not technically nuts. They're drupes. Okay.
You're a droop.
If we're also counting drupes, then I would also select cashews.
You're kind of on the right track, but I'm looking for a certain type of droop. I want a honey roasted cashew droop.
Honey roasted cashew.
Yes, because anything honey roasted is
All automatically better.
it's kind of like a 2x4 with cheese.
Delicious.
So is a honey roasted 2x4 better than a regular one?
You fucking know it.
Has to be.
I bet a honey roasted 2x4 would be pretty good.
You cut it in small chunks. It'd be fun.
Right,
You wouldn't know
like-
the difference.
Like thinly cut slices where you could actually bite through it.
Yeah.
Of course, then it wouldn't be a 2x4, would it?
Good point. You'd just be eating chunks of wood.
I don't want to get into geometry, but
It started out life as a 2x4.
The 2 and the 4 are just two of the dimensions. You could still thinly cut a 2x4.
yeah. That's true if you cut it the right direction.
You could. Yeah, you could.
We're getting pretty deep here.
Yeah. Deeper than a droop grows. I guarantee you that.
All right, I've got two lighter questions we'll finish up with. Best Kool-Aid flavor.
The answer for me is easy. Tropical punch.
That is absolutely correct.
Yes.
Whoa, 3 for 3. That's what mine was too.
Sure it was.
No, that was what mine was going to be too. It's the best one all the way around.
And it's been around forever.
Yeah.
I could go with grape. I could go with cherry, but
They can't touch Tropical Punch.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Not even close.
And Kool-Aid originated in Nebraska.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Hastings, Nebraska.
Not far from us, Hastings, Nebraska.
Yes, it did.
My dad always liked black cherry Kool-Aid. Not a black cherry fan. I just never got it.
I honestly didn't know there was black cherry.
Yep, there was.
Big Randy Christmas.
Big Granny Christmas. Get him a case of black cherry Kool-Aid.
Honestly, the best black cherry flavoring that I've had in any drink was that Bourbon Street cocktail that we had in Vegas last time, Mike. That was a good drink.
You know how the cherries eyes were blue?
Oh my god.
All right. This one I thought would be good for arguing, but apparently Jay never goes to fast food restaurants.
I don't never go.
That's what you just said.
I don't go often, but I don't never go. Never say never.
That's how we say it in the South. You don't never go. We don't never go to Long John Silver's.
Which means that they sometimes do.
The astronaut lady's eyes blue to the left and the right. Okay, we got to cut this out, don't we?
At least that part. Yeah. It's borderline.
She's been dead for a long time.
It's been a while. Yeah,
30 years?
Been a while.
37
Since
years.
January 28th, 1986.
Yeah.
Almost 40, yeah.
I was told there'd be no math. Most overrated fast food chain.
Overrated.
Overrated. Like the Colorado Buffaloes. The Colorado Buffaloes of fast food chains.
That makes perfect sense.
I know which one I like the least anyway, but I don't know that it's rated that high.
Wendy's.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree. That one sucks. But I also agree. I don't know that it's held with high regards.
Yeah, that's not the question. Be true to the question, Geoff.
Yeah, you're overrated.
I'm gonna say Chick-fil-A.
You son of a bitch.
Is that your answer? Have we answered every one the same?
No, I love Chick-fil-A.
No, it's not. If you love it or not, it's overrated. That's the question.
It's every bit as good as it's cracked up to be. Get it cracked up, eggs, chickens. I don't know. That's a stretch.
Chicken. That's pretty good. That's actually pretty
Yeah,
good.
it's kind of a stretch.
Yeah, but still good. No, overrated.
I think you just are lashing out at Chick-fil-A because it is so highly rated.
Yes, because the question is overrated fast food.
You just picked on the highest rated one.
No, I picked on the one that I feel is most overrated. The fact that they have a high rating helps the math, yes, but they are overrated.
That is the incorrect answer.
They're good. I do love Chick-fil-A. They are overrated.
Geoff?
I've never been a fan of Dairy Queen. Their ice cream's fine, but the other food's not great. But I don't know that's rated that high.
Does Starbucks count as fast food?
No.
Okay, I was going to change my answer, but if not, okay.
It's a better answer than Chick-fil-A.
I'm going to go with Jimmy John's.
Is Jimmy John's rated highly?
I think it's fairly. It's just it's the least favorite of the sandwich chains to me.
Why do you not like it?
Number one, I like the bread, which is my first sandwich chain must have is it has to have good bread. But it always pisses me off when I'm trying to eat it and the meat and everything's always sliding out of the sandwich because they don't cut it all the way through. And so you got all the shit sliding out, all the good stuff on the inside sliding out from the bread.
And they put cheese on it and he doesn't like cheese.
I think they're overpriced for what you get. No, I don't mind cheese. I mean, I like some of their sandwiches. Like I like the Beach Club. I like the, I don't know, Ultimate Porker, I think is what it's called.
Ultimate Porker's number 17.
It is a number 17. Do you like Jimmy John's, Jay?
I very much do.
Better than Chick-fil-A?
Gun to my head, if I had to pick between the two, no, I'd go Chick-fil-A.
I think we've discussed this before. I don't really hate Subway as much as some people seem to.
They do get a bad rap. And that's not a rap joke because they sell wraps.
I like Jimmy John's, but I'm kind of like indifferent. So I don't love it. I don't hate it. I don't think of it as super highly rated, I guess, which is maybe why it wasn't on my radar for this question. It's all right. I don't like how they think they're freaky fast. But I've got, and maybe you guys whiffed on this one because it's not in our area, but this one's easy. It's In-N-Out Burger.
Oh.
Highly, highly overrated.
I'd like to change my answer.
Yeah, I actually thought of that.
No, that's a good answer.
I considered it.
That's a great answer. Highly overrated.
Highly, highly rated. Highly, highly overrated.
In-N-Out Burger. I like that.
In-N-Out. Definitely the answer there.
That's the correct answer, yeah. It is. Let's wrap this up. Thank you all for listening. If you enjoy our podcast, please consider subscribing, giving us a rating, as many stars as possible, please. You can find us on all major social media outlets at Stripwalking or by visiting us at stripwalking.com. And thank you again for listening. May all your 7 show on the come out roll.
My robot dick would destroy her.
I'd pay to watch that. Okay, so let me ask a dumb question off the air here. You add the voice later, right? So can you just add it? Like, could you talk and not add his voice to part of your track and then adds to some of the other? Like, can you go back and forth? Or is that not a thing? Honestly.
That's just too confusing for me.
Okay.
I got to get into character.
That's fair.
And scene.